Hi guys, today I'm going to talk about the direct method history. Let's start. First, what is the direct method? Direct method in teaching a language is directly establishing an immediate and audiovisual association between experience and expressions, words and phrase, idioms and meanings, rules and performs throughout the teacher's body and mental skills without any help of the learner's mother tongue. In other words, the direct method is based on the fact that the teacher must to interact with the student only in the second language or target language. Any doubt, any question or answer must to be in the language that is being learned and in a completed way. For example, just no questions. The teacher says, "Are you from El Salvador?" And some students say, "Yes, no." So the teacher must to make to the student say the completed sentence. Yes, I am from El Salvador, or not, I'm not from El Salvador. Let's start with the history. Franco is going. He was born in September 1831 in Normandy, died in 1896. Is a French educator and didactic specialist in foreign language teaching. Wine has been one of the first of the 19th century's reformers to create a methodology around observation of child language learning. Other reformers toward the end of the century was turned their attention to naturalistic principles of the language learning, and for this reason they are sometimes referred as an advocate of a natural method. In fact, at various times throughout the history of a language, teaching attempts have been made to make second language learning more like the first language learning. Among those who tries to apply natural principles to language classes in the 19th century was Elsevier, 1826 to 1907, who used intensive oral interaction in the target language, employing question as a way of presenting and eliciting language. He opened a language school in Boston the late 1860s, and his method soon became referred as a natural method. Saviors and other believers in the natural method argue that a foreign language could be taught without translations or the use of the learner's native tongue if meaning was conveyed directly through demonstration and actions. The German scholar F. Freund wrote on the psychological principle of the direct association between forms and meanings in the target language, 1884, and provide a theoretical justification for a monolingual approach to teaching. According to Frank, a language could be best taught by using it actively in the classroom. The first one is classroom instructions was conducted exclusively in the target language. The teacher don't have to explain in Spanish, for example, in our case, only in English. And the second one is only everyday vocabulary and sentences were taught. For example, when you have a lesson plan and during the week you have to use only the vocabulary that you taught to your students. And the third one, New teaching points were introduced orally. You have to explain everything to the students, and you have to be clear with the thing that you explain. So oral communication skills were built up in the carefully graded progression organized around question and answer exchange between teachers and students in small, intensive classes. Okay, in other words, it says that the teacher have to explain, ask questions to the students have to answer, and that's the way that the students are going to learn the target language. The next one is concrete vocabulary was taught through demonstration on objects and pictures. Abstract vocabulary was taught by association of ideas. Well, the vocabulary have to be learned by objects. For example, if you have a cell phone in your hand, you have to say this is a cell phone, and the students have to associate the word to the object, and you have to use presentations or Word, PowerPoint, and associate the ideas to any word. In that case, the student used to use sentences like what's the meaning of, or how do you say that in English. Next one, both speech and listening comprehension were taught. The class has to have all the things: speech, listening, writing, and grammar. But it have to be less grammar, more speech, more listening comprehension. They are not going to have problems to associate the grammar with the idea that they have of the language. And next is correct pronunciation and grammar were emphasized. The teacher have to correct any mistake that the students made, because if the teacher don't correct the students, they are going to emphasize in that mistake and it's going to repeat it. And finally, here we have more principles of the direct method at the time of expressing ourselves in the class. Teachers: never translate, demonstrate. Never imitate mistake. Correct. Never make a speech. Ask questions. Never speak with single words. Use sentence. Never jump around. Follow your plan. Never speak too much. Make a student speak much. Never go too fast. Keep the pace of the students. Never speak too slowly. Speak normally. Thanks.